Can you say the question again? Can you say the question again?
Why is there no muscle shortening in isometric exercise?
Because they stiffen? Because the muscles stiffen? Oh, because you push against an equal or greater force.
Push against equal or greater force. That's important to know. That's why. You can do this and just tighten your muscles up like this. That's not isometric. I'm not pushing against nothing. I'm never staying static. Isotonic, what is it? Trish. What did you write down, honey? I know you wrote it down, so you get 2 days to do it. Didn't write it down. You know, Trish. So if the test was today and that was a question you'd get it wrong, and I gave you the essay questions for the test, and you didn't take the time to answer them on your own, that's when your 81 goes to a 75 in the class. Isotonic, answer together.
When weight stays the same during full range of motion. What?
What is it?
When weight stays the same during full range of motion. When weight stays the same during full range of motion.
Weight stays the same in full range of motion. Why is that important to know the weight stays the same? What does that mean if it doesn't?
Me? Wait, let me look.
What does it mean if the weight doesn't stay the same? What's an isokinetic exercise?
When the weight can change.
So,
What did you write down? You didn't write it down? I gave you 2 days in class to write it down. You didn't write it down? You mean I was wasting my time giving you time to get better? I am shocked. I am stunned. I am crestfallen. I am gobsmacked. Isokinetic is when you go through a motion and the weight varies. It gets heavier when you get stronger. That's the difference between isotonic and isokinetic. Isokinetic, it gets heavier and lighter during the range of motion. Isotonic, it stays the same. That's 9 points from the test. Everybody that lost their B got that wrong. Because they didn't answer, because they didn't write the question. It's like you didn't write the question. Second one, what are the principles of exercise? David. You're stretching and answering, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Principles of exercise, David, what are they? Principle of overload, progression, and specificity. Those are the three. Frequency, intensity, and time, or fit, belongs in the conversation. Put that together now in an answer. Go, write it down. Write it down. If you think you know it, write it down anyway. Write it down, you have to write it on the test.
frequency,
You can't think I know it. You gotta know it.
intensity,
Principles of
time.
exercise. What are they? Explain them. Tell me where fit.
Weight, frequency, intensity, and progression.
No, time. Fit.
stand for? Anybody help her? Carla?
Frequency, intensity, and time.
Why is that important to know? Astrid, what is frequency, intensity, and time? Well, I don't even know what that is. Where does it come into play? Why is it important? I don't think that's what you're supposed to be doing. But then again, you're going to do this. Go ahead. Frequency is how often you do it. Intensity is how hard you do it. Time is how long you do it. Duration. Why is it important to know those? What would you use those for? Quincy? How and why? Where exactly does it come in? You know, plug it into a formula. Where does it plug in? It's the how-to of what? Jack, how do you get stronger? By using what principle? Overload. Addison, how do you use overload?
You like go over like the
That's
amount.
what it is. You go over what you used to. That's correct. You go more than you used to. That's correct. How do you use it? If you're doing 100 pounds on the bench press, you come the next day and do 200 pounds. I'm doing more. Makes sense if I get stronger, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to go from 100 to 200?
Not really,
Why?
because you're not strong enough to
Too heavy.
do it. Yeah.
Too much. So how do I do it? By using what principle?
Specificity.
There's only one left. What is it?
Specificity. I don't know what to say.
Addison, keep thinking. It'll come out there. Come on, what is it? How do I use progression? Oh, sorry. How do I use overload?
It's progression.
We're using progression. Progression says what? Go up in small increments. So I have to overload to get stronger. How do I overload? By going in small increments, which is progression. How do I use progression? By using fit, frequency, intensity, and time. I can make my exercises harder by either increasing the frequency, how often I do it. Instead of working out 3 times a week, I'm going to work out 5 times a week. Intensity, instead of running that mile in 7 minutes, I'm going to run it in 6 minutes. All right? Time, instead of working out for a half an hour, I'm going to work out for an hour. So, overload's how you get stronger. Progression's how you overload. Fit is how you do progression. Specificity basically just says you have to target the muscle group that you plan to work. Those are the 2 essay questions. If you don't write them in handwriting, not type them, at least 5 times tonight, you are doing yourself a disservice. You should be able to sit down tomorrow, turn the page over where you can write the answers, and write those essays out. Just because you've done it 4 or 5 times. Write them out. That's 18 points. And if you know those questions, you're going to get 10 more points in the test because there are at least 10 questions in the test that deal with those questions, with the principles of isometric isokinetic. And all those people that lost their B didn't answer those questions. Make sense? Okay. Next part. When we went through the heart rate, the last test we had yesterday, the last test, they were confused as far as the heart rates are. What they mean. How do you find them? What are the heart rates that we went over? Name one of them, David.
Heart rate numbers? Wait, what was the question?
Name one of the heart rates we talked about.
Resting?
Resting. Do you know what resting heart rate is?
Yeah, when your body's at rest.
When you're resting, when you get up in the morning. Do you know why it's important to know your resting heart rate? Because the lower your heart rate is at rest, the stronger your heart is. What's the next heart rate we talked about? There were two of them. What?
Target?
Target's another one. So what's the target heart rate?
Isn't it like the one that like when you want it to be when you exercise?
Is it a certain number or is it a range?
A range.
It's a range. So the target is the range you want to be at during exercise. If you're in that range, what's it mean you are?
In shape? Like, I don't know.
To exercise a certain way, you have to be in that range. What kind of exercise is that? Give it an A.
Aerobic?
Aerobic. All right, so aerobic exercise, you have to have your heart rate in the target zone. For how long?
5 to 10 minutes?
20 minutes minimum.
Never mind.
How often a week?
3 times?
3 to 4. All right. And that would be the target heart rate. How do you find target heart rate? By using what other heart rate? Help her. Tell her.
Resting? No.
Tell her. You're going to tell her. Tell her out loud. What is it? Maximum heart rate. How do you find maximum heart rate?
Isn't it
You
something
like run a lot?
220 minus your age.
Oh, never
Why is that
mind.
important? Because you need that number to find your target heart rate, which is 60 to 90%.
Uh-huh.
You need to know these math numbers. There are questions on it that tells you what is your target heart rate if you're at this age. You should know it.
68.
Figure it out. That's the other section. That's the other section a lot of the kids got wrong. They weren't clear on the math. Muscle. Nice time, that's kinetic. Went over that. It's also another question on the testing that no one knows.
What was it?
Types of muscle exercises.
Didn't we
It's
just
an
go
easy test.
Types of muscles. Wait, did you say types of muscle exercises?
Yeah, isn't that isometric?
I think so.
If you're studying for this test here, you do extra push-ups once the stage you need.
But you have to do 25. You don't gotta go fast.
Get ready to sweatshirts.
I'm not gonna do the push-ups because I can barely do 4.
I can do 25. I can only do 25 push-ups for 2 points.
It's like 5, but like
Isn't it
No.
1 point for each?
for each 25.
No, isn't it 1 point after you do 25? Yeah, that's
1
that's
point. I thought it was 5 points.
it. Yeah, that's enough.
He's not that nice.
That's why like I can do. I'll be struggling at 25 to do 1 extra card point. Like might as well just fucking stop.
Yeah, never mind.
I'm relying on him. I can only do 8 push-ups.
I can do 4.
I remember we were like one of the ones.
Yeah, no, we're special.
Yeah.
In a good way. Okay. I'm gonna record the whole entire